here we are, people. This is just a little quick blog I want to throw in for the lack of the UFC 104 pre-fight blog, which was my fault. Destro was rocking and rolling, ready to do it. We had a bunch of stuff on the table we were going to work on, and I had some issues. I had some problems going on. I got some work troubles, car problems, self issues, crap like that going on. So I ended up having to call off. My apologies to Destro because I know he was ready. So, and apologies, Destro can't be here, so this is why I'm doing a quick blog, just to, throw out some quick events or whatever he's up to here in work. So, cannot be here for this one. So, like I said, I want to make it quick, and the next one he will be with me, and we are going to kind of go over some more in-depth coverage, between the two of us, because we both have different things we like to research and cover. So, anyway, I'm just doing a quick little fast blog just to bring you up to date on some things, or just discuss some things, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start out with the Nate Marquardt, Dan Henderson, and Anderson Silva. What do they all have in common? Or what's funny about all three of them? Nate Marquardt said that he thought he should be the one to have a title shot, for Anderson Silva, and which I completely agree. Of course he should. He just made Damian Maia look like a child. Of course, I can make the argument for Damian that if he did get a chance to implement his game, could have been totally different match. So I wouldn't say Marquardt's necessarily proved himself, but he has worked his way back up. And if Anderson Silva denied the guy a match, that'd be ridiculous. So give Nate Marquardt the match, and everything will be fine. No, but Dan Henderson says he should get that match before any Vitor Belfort, which I also agree with that. But Dan Henderson is having UFC contract problems, so if there's contract problems and there's no contract signed, there's no fights for you. So Dana's not giving Dan enough money, Dan feels, I guess. So, which that's been talk going on for quite a while now. So that's nothing new. But Dan agreed that if Nate Marquardt had the shot, he'd understand and he'd step back, but not Vitor Belfort. It's just, I don't know if Dana's trying to step on Dan's feet and Nate's feet. I don't get it. But and the whole Silva debacle is like, with all this going on, he's got a bum elbow or whatever. I think Dana and Silva have been bumping heads for a while now. He's been throwing matches their way, and they don't want to take them because they just don't feel that they're decent enough opponents. Maybe I have no idea what the problem is, but they're not taking the fights. I think maybe this is kind of a little splurge I saw from Cat Daddy, and I thought it was kind of a good point. They're bumping heads, and they're not accepting some of the fights that Dana wants, but they're not necessarily breaching contract with saying no and stuff like that. So, which might be the reason why he's got an injured elbow. Just my thoughts. When I agreed with a friend of mine. So, that's just a little something to chime in, comment about. I'm going to move on to UFC 104, that whole debacle. Shogun versus Machida. I thought it was a pretty stale fight. I mean, you got two guys that are staying relaxed and waiting for their counter shots and timing their attacks. That's the kind of fight you're going to have, man. You're going to have a stalemate-looking fight that looks like shit. I'm sorry, but that's the way it is. Lyoto Machida is not the kind of guy that will jump in and just attack you right away. He is the kind of guy that's going to wait for you to make a mistake or counterpunch. I mean, that's just the way he does it. That's his style. So, and one thing I will say, I'll make an argument for Machida, is nobody can get that guy on his back. Shogun could not, for the life of him, get him on his back, off his feet, nothing. That guy has got a supreme center of gravity. The guy knows what he's doing when it comes to balance. But I would say it was the worst Machida performance I've ever seen, because I think Shogun did step up that much, made it a great fight, made it a great contest, I should say, and just proved that he's back into contention for sure, and should definitely get a rematch. And if if anybody is asking me a question, I would have to say the fight would be a draw. If I could make an argument for it to go either way, but if I had to choose one person, coming out winning that night, I would have to say, say Shogun, man. I would have to say Shogun, because I just felt that he landed more. He landed more shots. He did do a little bit more. Like I said, there's a lot of arguments I can make for both fighters. I thought Machida did a lot more combos, landed a lot more combos at one time, even though Shogun landed more overall shots. Sure, that's great, but he also missed a lot of shots too, which, like I said, I'm not going to sit here and go over every argument. This is a quick blog, so. But anyway, chime in what you think on that match. I could go over that a ton more, but I'm not going to. We're probably going to touch on that in the next blog. It's probably going to be a 104, 105, 106 blog, because it's going to be coming up here soon. But we already got, in a short few weeks here, we got UFC 105 and 106 coming up. So we're just going to do a 104 wrap-up, 105 and 106 pre-fight. So that should be what we got on in store. So tune in, but chime in what you think of the Shogun Machida fight and the debacle. Personally, and I have to touch on this. I can't move on just yet. I have to touch on the fact that Cecil Peoples is a moron as a judge. He's an absolute retard. And the reason why I say that is because he's a boxing judge. Why do we have boxing judges in the MMA? There's something wrong with that completely, because boxing is a totally different world. And if you think boxing is similar to MMA, go watch some videos, man, or something. Go to SureDog, or go to, MMA Convert, or go to MMAfightblog.ning.com and look at the fights there and tell me if it looks anything like boxing. Since when do boxers lay on their back or wrestle? So you cannot have a guy that used to do boxing. You can't have him come in here and judge. I'm sorry. And I know he's been doing MMA a while now. I know, but I'm sorry. He needs to learn some stuff about MMA if he's going to judge MMA. Just completely. So